All right, well, here we are back, and we're doing the final segment here in the series of attitudes. So here's part 4, and then we'll go into at the very end what we're getting into next. So we went through the 6 steps, right, of a mindset. So here is actually something that's quite interesting because they're always trying to figure, okay, so what is next? Well, you have to always remember to resolve. And you're talking about, well, what are you talking about, resolve? Whenever things are to get done and are requiring a commitment of a person, you got to ask yourself these questions. Can they actually do it? Does this person actually have the ability to do what is being asked? Like, can they actually do the task at hand? Because I don't know how many times have you ever seen, but I've seen this on a few times. Someone's actually said, hey, I can do it. And then they're like, no, I didn't realize that. And then here we are. We're like, really? Like, you thought you said you could do it and you didn't. Can you actually do this? So here we are. Can they do it? Right on. All right. And will they? So not only does the ability have to be there, but will they actually do it? Okay. Is the passion, is a person's attitude in the right place to have the right passion? So they got to have the attitude, they got to have the mindset, they got to be able to have that resolve within them. Okay. And the timing, is the timing right? Is everything lined up so you're able to be guaranteed a positive outcome? See, here's the thing. You could have the ability, you could have the actual passion about it, but if the timing is wrong, then it's all done for. There is no reason to actually think you're going to succeed, because timing, tact, and tone is going to be one of your best ways of communicating to somebody, regardless if you're going to like it, love it, or hate it. That's going to be your best chance of success, even when you're talking to somebody. There's timing involved. And then lastly, is their temperature hot? So is the desire, are they actually going to pull through? Like, they got the ability, like, yeah, we're going to do this. And they're like, okay, the timing's right. We're going to go in here. Do they actually have that follow through that is required, that consistent right at the last 10%? Are they going to pull through, pull the trigger, let's go? And hopefully they answer yes to as many of these as possible. But the reality is they got to be answering to at least the last 2 and an absolute yes, because that is absolutely critical. Okay. So you got to reframe. And you're like, well, what are you talking about, reframe? When you're talking about reframe, we're talking about mindset. You have to have the mindset of, I can, I will, I am winning. This is the winner's time, that I am a winner and I'm going to do this. The reason being is because if you don't have that mindset, you don't have that attitude, you know what's going to happen? When the storm's coming, when the challenges are coming, when people are going to question you, you're not going to be able to figure it out on your feet. You're going to be like, what is going on? I don't understand. I thought I had it all, but I don't. So here you have an opportunity to reframe and really gather your thoughts and your ideas and then put it all together. And this way you can say, your mind is in the right place. I can, I will, I am. And I am going to win at this. And that's how you're going to be guaranteed. So then all of a sudden you got to think, okay, so if I have that in there, what happens if I don't? What happens if the person's mindset is, well, what should have, could have, I should have, could have done this. I had to have had an opportunity to do this. This didn't line up with that. That was all of a sudden. And then they go down a bunch of excuses. And then all of a sudden you're like, really? You got to be kidding me. So the person's negative mindset is actually going to cripple them, even though that they could be the most talented and be fit for everything. What's going to happen? They're not going to be able to deliver. And that is not what we need. We need people who can deliver. So in this case, understand your mindset and what your direction is actually heading in the long term, not in the short term. All right. And then you're going to be able to see how things are going to develop from there. All right. So you got to be able to re-enter. You're like, well, what are you talking about, re-enter? So as you notice your mindset is shifting, you have to be able to re-enter and reassess and take things into consideration, because as you notice that your thinking is changing, your actions need to actually follow suit. So the transition is, as I'm noticing the change within me. I have to actually have my actions follow suit. If they don't, you're done. Why? The reason being is because many people go off of the emotion. They think, yeah, rah, rah, and then they, I don't know, like, what's going on? Like, and then all of a sudden it's complete silence. They're stunned. They froze, and you're under a great deal of pressure. And you're like, I needed you to deliver. I needed you to, and you couldn't do it. So you got to take the feelings of what is going on instead of just acting on it. You got to be able to just harness it and really deliver it through, because it will never provide the desired outcomes if you don't act. You must act. You have to act on this. You have to have that drive. You got to have that passion. You got to have everything that you need deep down within when you're making heavy, hard-hitting decisions. It's just, that's the way how it works. And you got to be more composed than ever, because if you blow up and all of a sudden this and that, what's going to happen is people are going to think, you know what? This guy's a loose cannon. He can't control himself. But if you're able to remain calm in the steady of the storm, you're not going to believe this, but you're actually going to get a lot more people supporting you and backing you, because they're like, no matter what, that guy is just a flagship, stand true through and through. He can pull through because he knows his course, he knows what he's doing, and he's got it. That's how you got to do this one. But then you have to repeat it. So you got to take into consideration the habits that are nothing more than your thoughts. Repeat it over a period of time, and those turns into habits. So you got to remember, your habits are into a thought now. So attitudes are simply repeated habits. Also, you have to remember to change your attitude. You must fully be aware of what you are reading, listening to, and who you are letting into your circle of networking. So who are your heaviest influences? Your 5 closest friends? We went through this before. So do you have what it takes to actually assess those determining external factors and saying, this is definitely where I'm going, this is where I want to go, and this is where I'm headed, or this is not what I'm looking for at all, and I got to make some major adjustments. You got to do the right thing when no one's looking. It's basically what it comes down to. If you can't do that, then it's probably never going to work out for you in the long term, because eventually things are going to fall into place and you're going to get caught into unfortunate circumstances. And that's just the reality of it. So you have the renewal. So what does this mean? This is basically what's happening is you got everything coming in. You're like, you're great. I got my mindset right. I got actions to follow. I got all the things that I need as far as I'm consistent with it. I'm happy with it. I can, I will, I am. And you're pushing on through, and you're thinking that this is no problem because the storms are coming. But here's the other underlying issue that a lot of people don't understand. So believe it or not, over time, a positive attitude can replace a negative one. And you never want to lose this. You want to know why? Because it is so hard to get to, so hard to maintain, so hard to actually achieve in certain situations and circumstances. Why? Because you never want to lose that positive mindset and attitude and those actions to follow, because the longer that you had a negative mindset and a negative attitude, it is a very, very, very difficult. In fact, it's probably 5 to 10 times more difficult to actually uproot that and change that versus if someone else. That's why they say you can never you can never show an old dog new tricks, as the saying goes. Well, you can if they're willing to change, but it's going to be a long, hard, grueling process. But I can also guarantee you this: if you have someone that's actually really vibrant and willing to go and always willing to learn, willing to be challenged, guess what? Chances are going to be very, very, very good that they're going to have the opportunity to actually uproot everything. And then they're going to say, you know what? I can definitely pick myself up, push myself forward, and we're going to go into this other direction. So when the process starts to take place, enjoy it and embrace it and don't let go of it, because it will take continuous efforts to maintain a positive attitude as they are continuously under attack. And the reason, and I'm not saying like people are physically going, no. I'm talking about the mental battle within your mind. See, if you want to look at this illustration right here with this individual here walking in, a farmer in a field, what is he doing? He's checking his crops. Weeds could be anywhere. Anything could be happening. So that's why you always got to have a maintaining that positive mindset and attitude and outlook on life, and always do the right thing when nobody's looking. Next week, we're going to be doing your most important asset. That's people. So we're going to go into a whole nother series of people and how that all looks into and dealing with them and things of that nature. So next Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Just never forget to work hard, stay humble, and keep that rolling forward. Bye for now.